welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me here while we talk about movies. Be sure and subscribe, ring that little bell, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new movie review. Also, check out my Facebook page, or it's actually a group where you can talk all about movies there, and visit my website, moviereviewmom.com. All right, enough of all of that. Let's get on to the movie. So today the movie I'm reviewing is called My Hindu Friend. This movie is rated R, and I'm going to say a hard R. It's 2 hours and 4 minutes, and the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is a B minus, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to give you a quick nutshell overview and point out some tips for parents. Don't ever let your kids see this movie. I guess that's one tip. And then I'll talk about some things I liked and didn't like. All right, so first, in a quick nutshell, the movie begins with a statement by Hector Babenco explaining that what you are about to watch is a story that happened to him and that he's going to present it in the best way he knows how. Many of the characters are actually his real life friends and family, which is why you won't recognize many of the actors. The man to watch is the incredible and talented Willem Dafoe. The movie was originally filmed in Portuguese back several years ago, actually, but they changed it to English once Willem Dafoe joined the cast. The movie is directed by Hector Babenco, and it is the relatively true story of his life. The story is about a sick director who undergoes a very tricky procedure. Now, some tips for parents. As I mentioned, this is not an appropriate movie for your children to watch, or even your teenagers, I would say. First of all, kids will be extremely bored, but that's beside the point. There are just so many inappropriate sex scenes and tons of nudity that you just don't want them watching. For example, a man sits on a bed in his underwear and you see him take his shirt off. That is like the most mild thing that happens in the movie. Married people cheat on each other, and sometimes you see it and sometimes you don't. There's cleavage, and a woman pulls her shirt down so you can show off her chest. Again, that's pretty mild compared to most of the other things. There's super crude language, alcohol, profanity, and then there's this skinny old lady and she wears seductive underwear and you're like, ah. But then later she's completely naked and you're like, ah. I understand the artistic decision. I just would not choose to make a movie like this. Anyway, there's tons of other nudity, sex, and super awkward moments related to those things. Just not stuff I want to see, not my cup of tea, but I understand the artistry in all of those decisions. All right, so for some themes, the themes are actually very interesting and they are represented in an interesting way, but I just don't think that this is a mainstream movie that, you're going to go take your family to go see, or for date night even, or girls night out even. It is really kind of directed towards an artsy-fartsy crowd that appreciates the artistry in this film. Anyway, back to the themes. Denial, despair, all about life, the good, the bad, the ugly, as well as death, the good, the bad. Well, maybe there's not so much good, but the bad and the ugly. Marriage and infidelity, love, friendship, and inspiration, the things that bring us joy, inspire our creativity, and lend meaning to our life. And those are all really valuable topics and themes to talk about. So some things that I did like are, first of all, I mentioned I am such a huge fan of Willem Dafoe, and I have been for many, many years. He's excellent as expected in this movie, and he's the reason why I wanted to see the movie in the first place. I also thought he was outstanding in the movie The Lighthouse, and so I was really surprised that the movie didn't get hardly any recognition for the artistry and for the acting for both of the actors in that movie. Again, that movie was very artistic and it had some nudity and some odd moments in it that kind of made people go, meh. But this movie is similar in that regard. I think if you like The Lighthouse, You'll probably also like this. And of course, if you like Willem Dafoe, you'll be interested in watching his performance, which is incredible as well. Willem Dafoe just gives his all to this role. And in fact, he loses so much weight to play this sick man that he just looks like a walking skeleton. He's obviously very believable. And you're just sort of shocked when you see him in the beginning, like, oh no, is he okay? And of course, he's not. And to experience all of the things that he experiences with him is just devastating and intriguing. Now, a movie like this could be overly sentimental about life and death and family and love and all that kind of stuff, but it's not. It's very reflective for sure, and it will make you consider your own life choices and relationships. But it's done in, like I keep using the word, artistic way so that it's not just a sappy story. The story is, as I mentioned, very poetic and messy, just like life. Now, some things that I did not like about the movie, and that is obviously way too much nudity, crude language, and vulgarity. I just don't appreciate being exposed to that. So there's that. And I understand that we're supposed to see how desperate Diego is. Diego is played by Willem Dafoe in the beginning of the movie, but I don't have to see everything that he does. I value subtlety over in your face portrayal. I think subtlety is so much more powerful. I don't have to see the flesh, the acts, and all of that kind of stuff to understand what's happening and to understand his choices and his desperation. And because of that, I had a hard time sympathizing with him because he is such a self-centered man, and it's really hard to relate to him and to the choices that he makes. The movie is a very slow burn, but hang in there. By the end, you're like, okay. You're not like, wow, that's the most amazing movie I've ever seen. Um, And then what another thing that I didn't like about the movie is, as I keep mentioning, it's artistic, but it's very self-absorbed, like Diego's character, in the artistry of it all. And because of that, I think a lot of people won't be able to relate. Okay, that is my movie review. Fair warning, if that sounds good to you, then go for it. But if you're a little nervous about some of the things I mentioned, then you can catch Willem Dafoe in a number of other movies because he is so great. Anyway, thank you again for subscribing. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great time at the movies. Bye for now.